This is exactly where we see our organization kind of like filling in that gap. So, you know, like at the moment, there's no real alternatives to the current livelihoods, like, or at least sustainable, like feasible nature-based alternatives. Like you usually hear communities saying, you know, or people here on the ground, like cattle is the only thing that is gonna get us through the drought. But if you compare cattle, you know, to like they require so much care and so much attention compared to game, for example. They're just built, they evolved to be here in this area. So that's where like trying to find these other solutions is like bush encroachment, for example. It's a big problem here in Namibia. That means that, you know, when the land is overgrazed, which usually tends to happen when there's livestock, native species just that are invasive as well just thrive and then outcompete the grasses. So then you end up having like a desertification of the land. So if there's ways for you to debush the land, like clear the land, make a space again for wildlife, but actually use that product, right? Somewhere, it's just an example, but maybe find some ways to use, like live off of the land. There's a lot of nature-based solutions that we see could have a lot of potential here in Namibia. So until there are real solutions to people that can help them find those alternatives to, you know, like having your flock or like your herd of cattle or goats, that is more nature conscious, that goes more in line with what, like the ecosystem on its own, you know, like instead of converting the land to put our livelihood there, how about let's try and find solutions, like alternatives where we just promote nature, foster nature, make it more resilient, where we can actually live off of the land. Like, you know, it's kind of like how our relationship with nature was a millennia ago. Like, you know, hunters gatherers knew exactly how their ecosystem looked, and very respectful, and they live off of the land. Lately, in the last 100 years, human development or human use has severely degraded biodiversity. And we don't realize that now because we're so disconnected from nature. We just don't see the clear relationship between our well-being and the Earth's and the biodiversity well-being. So